Hey everyone, welcome back to A Day in the Life, our first episode in 2026. Oh my goodness. For those who are new, this is a monthly series that I've been doing since last year, where I talk about what I'm building, what I'm learning, questioning, what I'm sitting with. This is the space where I take you behind the scenes and I show you kind of the messy middle, the nitty gritty, what it looks like, what it feels like to leave corporate traditional work structures, build something, create something that fits an individual lifestyle, my own lifestyle, not according to 9 to 5 time systems, corporate systems, not in accordance to any other structures, rather than my own time and peace and family and priorities. So, for those who are new, welcome. All of the behind the scenes A Day in the Life series are now only in the paid tier, in the, the paywall. So, thank you for being here. I really appreciate your time, your energy. It means a lot. And this year, 2026, has felt very different, I think, from the get-go, from January 1st. I know in astrology, it's technically still not the new year. We're waiting for spring and the cardinal sign Aries to kind of bring us through to this new chapter. So we're still in what we would call winter, even if you're joining from the global south of the equator. This is not winter time. This is your summer. But still thinking about, we're not running towards our goals necessarily. We're still kind of sitting, digesting with things. We're being a bit more reflective. And not to say that we can't move forward with things, but just this is the time that could be most helpful to sit with, reflect. And this year, 2026, if I'm not mistaken, in the Chinese zodiac, it's the horse. I don't know which element of the 5 elements in traditional Chinese medicine, but the horse already has this, we think about horsepower, at least I think about horsepower, and this word that has so much power and stamina, endurance, and that we've moved it to cars and being able to kind of measure the speed or the endurance of a vehicle through horsepower. And I don't know how they measured that, so maybe I'll save that for the next episode. But there's this idea, there's this feeling of horsepower, and a horse, he's such a beautiful animal. I've rode in a horse. I feel like ridden a horse is proper grammar. And once in my life, when I was visiting my half-sister in Central America, so it was a bit touristy. I've never interacted with a horse in other ways. I didn't grow up with horses. Here in the East Coast, by Washington, D.C., sometimes some police individuals ride horses. And I've been to a national park that I think it's in North Carolina, where on an island they just have wild ponies. And so there's an area of them that can just do their thing, and that are monitored and cared for by humans. But there's this, for me, deep respect and also fear of horses. I'm 5 feet tall, and when I stand next to one or close to one, just the size, the strength of their legs, their eyes, just penetrating, They just see really into your soul. And I've seen horses used for therapy, all sorts of different types of therapy, because horses have this sense of feeling, of knowing, and energy. So I think that's so beautiful. Animal medicine and learning from other species, other animals that can tap into other things that we can't for whatever reason. I mean, humans aren't masters of everything. So holding that kind of in reverence, that this year is kind of an ode, has this energy of horsepower. And at the same time, horses are strong. They were used to literally transport people and wagons and things and all sorts of stuff from large distances and at speed and galloping and jumping over things. And I mean, horses are just tremendous. And so, for me, this year has kind of this yin-yang feeling to it, this hot, cold, this chaos and clarity, both in one. There's this feeling of a lot is going on. I mean, politically, economically, here in the United States, but just everywhere. It's just spreading and moving and cycling. And so there's a lot of that. But then also, there's a lot of that internally. I'm sure a lot of us are in this feeling of, well, what do we do now that the external, the world is, the shit is hitting the fan? And there's this feeling of not being able to have control or not be able to get a handle on things, and what to do and how to do it and why. And it's just all a mess. And that mess is part of the clarifying. That mess is part of the stamina, I think, the resilience that we're developing in a different way, in other angles, perhaps. And the hope is that through this clarity, through this chaos, clarity through chaos, chaos through clarity, we get to a stronger, more resilient, more grounded, fierce, fearless, freeing, all of these things, place internally and externally. And it's not going to look like anything we've seen before, potentially, because we're experimenting and things are being thrown at us at speeds, at angles, in a way that we've never experienced before. And so, just holding this image of a horse is kind of what I've been leaning into, learning about, sitting with, questioning, because it's had me questioning my business, quite honestly. I've never liked the word career coach, business coach, any of that, because it assumes that career and business, these things, are separate from ourselves. And it assumes that we even want those things, career and business. And I never wanted a career. I didn't even know I needed to have one or work towards one until I was already in it. I mean, until I had already graduated, was in debt with my college degree, and was trying to figure out how to live on my own and survive on my own and be self-sufficient. And while doing that, I was still going through a tremendous amount of emotional, mental baggage and healing and family dynamics, relationship dynamics. And so it was just, again, a chaos and clarity in my early 20s. So what does it mean to be in this sort of work when work itself is changing? And as it should, as it is always meant to. And what do I do? How do I do it? All these questions. So this, as I said in the beginning, this series is in the paid tier, the paywall, because I want to honor the energy, the work, the transparency, in a way that is reciprocal, that builds maybe a more intimate community where we can ask some deeper questions. And I like to be transparent. I like to be as open and honest as I can. But I did feel the need to create a paywall and see if I can continue to build a smaller, more intimate, more connected community. And this is one part of that. So that was one piece of this evolution, and asking myself through the chaos and clarity, what do I want this Substack to be, and what I hope for it in the years to come. So thinking about resilience and endurance there. The other thing is I still have my services. I've gone back and forth thinking, well, I've never wanted to push any path on anyone. I'm a firm believer in customization and creating our own path and figuring out our own needs, making sure that our needs and priorities are being met first and foremost, which is why I've never been or have never identified with the word career or business or things like that. So I still have my services. If you know someone who is interested in leaving or repurposing, rethinking traditional work structures, I really am leaning heavily into this identity that I have always had of not being money motivated. And I want to really support those of us who are also identify as such, that even if you pay us more money, that doesn't correlate, that doesn't mean that we're going to work harder. It just means that we make more money. And if you have that same belief, if you have that same identity and value, then, or if you know someone who does or might be interested in working with someone like that, I have two services. One is what I call the Reset Day, VIP Day. It's every Friday, and I only work with one person on that Friday. So you get me all to yourself. So it's 4 people total a month. I only take a total of 4 so that I can honor the time and energy. And we dive deep. We dive deep into where you are in this season of your life, your needs, your priorities, any conflicting interests, any constraints, obstacles, and that could be from financial, mental, emotional. I love looking at different ways of self-knowing, self-assessment. So we look at your astrology, we'll look at your human design, your Myers-Briggs. We put it all together and we start to lean into your strengths, your values, transferable skills. I speak the lingo of LinkedIn and career spaces. So at the end of the day, we make sure that you're in a spot that positions you for the utmost success and prosperity. My other service is a 1 month. So if you want to stay with me a little longer, and we go a little bit deeper. If you can imagine that, we go even deeper than deep. For 4 weeks, for a month, the world's our oyster. We can talk about anything and everything. If you're looking to really make a big switch, whether it is to business or back to the 9 to 5, or you're kind of doing this 1 foot in, 1 foot out, maybe with side gigs or some sort of portfolio thing, we get you set up. We get you set up for a bit longer term. And it's more than decompressing. It's more than just, we still do the Myers-Briggs and all that other self-knowing good stuff. And we do more of the logistical, tactical things so that you feel even more structured and prepared for your next months, half year, whole year, whatever that looks like for you, and any steps you might need to take, any pivots along the way. So feel free to check those out, or please share, because I'm a big word of mouth person, brand, and that really goes a long way. And I think something I'm kind of questioning with all of this is, what does sustainability look like or feel like in this year of the horse, in times of chaos and clarity? And that can be hard, because I think so much of society, and I mean society with a capital S, in all the countries and cultures, I think this is because we're all very globalized now. Is sustainability something that lasts more than a season, more than 3 months? Is sustainability something that lasts a whole year? Is sustainability resilience, and that's it? And just being able to have this skill, this muscle memory, to know when to jump, to know when to sit, to know when to pivot, all these sort of things. So that's kind of the question I'm holding with myself right now. Because I think that as things change, it's understandable, it makes sense, it's logical, it's rational, we yearn for comfort, we yearn for safety and security. And I mean, that's a biological human thing, and not even just humans, but all animals want to feel safe. And I think safety is part of the redefinition, is part of what we're redefining, because we can be challenged now to ask ourselves, were we even safe? And how, or why not? Or what does safety look like for us now that it didn't need to be, or it didn't look like before? Because I know for myself that safety for me before felt like getting out of debt, getting out of car debt, student loan debt, feeling that weight off my shoulders. And now that I've done that, check mark, thank goodness, accomplished, now I do feel safe in that regard. But safety for me now is, how can I show up consistently in this work so that it can grow? So what conditions do I need to put in place for myself, emotionally, mentally, physically, financially, so that I can be in a good place, in the best place I can put myself, to then do this work that is so meaningful and important and crucial for me, purposeful for me. And I want it to be my full time. Right now, it's kind of like a part-time. So, it's a different level of safety. It involves a bit more risk now. It involves a bit more being flexible, being using different muscles that maybe I'm not used to or haven't developed. So I think ultimately what I want to leave you all with is, I don't know, because I actually don't know very much, but what I feel is that we're all in this together in different ways, and we're all in this messy chaos, seeking clarity, seeking meaning, seeking healing, and it's going to look different, as it should, because we're all in different places and figuring out different things internally, externally, and I would just put it out there for myself and for all of us, just a global announcement, a PSA, public, what is it called? Public something announcement? Well, anyways, that not to hold on too tightly to the outcome, because I want to, as I said, I want this podcast to be my full-time pursuit and way of making income. And that's what all the steps I'm taking are so that that becomes a reality, and I can give myself the time and the energy, and there's a practice in receiving as well that I need to get better at. And it may not look as I intend to in this moment, because I don't know what it's actually gonna be, or what it wants to be, and what I need it to be in the future. So all of that is to say that we're in this together, and my heart goes out to you and your loved ones, and all the things that you're going through and experiencing. And I'm with you in spirit, even if I'm not with you in person. And things have a way of working themselves out, as long as, of course, we put in the work and we do the messy middle and we kind of get in the mud a bit. But there will be a light at the end of the tunnel. I'm sure that at the end of this year, we will feel so much stronger. We will have so much horsepower that we will be even more agile and more resilient and purposeful, and all the good things, all the things that we already are and have within ourselves, just kind of embodied and manifested externally. So just needed to breathe. I hope you're breathing. I hope you taking care of yourself as much as you can, in every way you can, when you can. And until next time, take care.